The digital skin. How 2020's photography redefined the classical human silhouette. There was a time when beauty was not smooth. It carried pores, breath, gravity, and time. Classical painters did not chase perfection, they chased presence. The human body was never clean, it was luminous, but also mortal, textured, and unstable under light. In the 2020s, that instability begins to fade. What replaces it is quieter and more controlled. A digital skin that looks human, but no longer behaves like it. The ethereal form. In 19th century painting, artists such as Luis Ricardo Falero built figures that feel supernatural but remain anatomically grounded. Light was narrative, it wrapped around flesh and revealed physical effort. The glow in these works was not literal. It came from brushwork, glazing, and controlled imperfection. Even divine figures still felt heavy with bone and fatigue. Traditional art depended on tension between ideal beauty and biological reality. The algorithmic glow. Modern computational photography replaces that tension with prediction. In smartphone imaging systems, skin is no longer simply recorded, it is interpreted. Machine learning models detect faces, adjust lighting, and reconstruct ideal exposure in real time. The camera becomes an editor, not an eye. The result is a new glow, not painted or reflected, but calculated. Photography no longer captures light. It simulates it. Shadows soften unnaturally. Highlights bloom without physical cause. Skin loses micro-texture and becomes too uniform, too continuous, detached from biological variation. This is the digital skin, a surface that behaves like design, not tissue. The erasure of imperfection. In older visual systems, noise was evidence. Film grain, uneven exposure, and texture carried traces of lived experience, fatigue, aging, and environment. Today, AI enhancement systems treat those signals as flaws. Noise is removed, texture is standardized, imperfection is corrected, wrinkles soften, pores vanish, tonal variation flattens. The result is a psychological shift. We begin seeing versions of ourselves detached from time. Not how we look, but how we could look under optimal computation. Architectural anatomy. As this system evolves, it reshapes proportion as well as surface. Computational photography subtly adjusts facial geometry, framing, and symmetry to match platform-driven aesthetics. Faces are centered, smoothed, balanced, optimized. A new visual standard emerges, algorithmically classical, shaped less by culture than by engagement metrics. The body becomes less biological structure and more configurable surface. This produces a modern uncanny valley. Not robots, but perfected humans whose textures no longer match their forms. The cost of perfection. The question is not whether this is good or bad. It is whether it changes what we recognize as human. If imperfection disappears, does empathy weaken? If struggle is no longer visible, do we lose emotional access to survival itself? Increasingly, precision is valued over truth. A face is judged not by its history, but by how well it conforms to computational clarity. Reality becomes the flawed version of the image, not the other way around. Conclusion. The frictionless human. We are entering an era where the body is not documented, but reconstructed. The digital skin is not just a filter. It is a new logic of appearance, where biological imperfection is optional and smoothness is default. The question remains. If we refine the human silhouette until it no longer carries time, suffering, or environment, what are we preserving, and what are we erasing? Because the most radical shift in 2020's photography may not be how we see the world, but how the world stops showing itself.